No one will offer a solution to underage sexting non-problem as I will. I would like to have my imaginary friend James Grider take over and explain how the issue should be dealt with so no one suffers again.
James says, "When will we finally take away the police's ability to use technology we invent for communication against us? Just like with text messages, I say in order to be arrested for taking or distributing a picture that is considered illegal, you must have a witness testify that they either saw you take the picture, or they saw you send the picture, or they saw you receive the picture. If they weren't literally looking over your shoulder at your phone, you get away with it. Just like in the analog age, where the only way to prove someone took a Polaroid is to see them take it, to see them develop it, and to see them hand it over to a friend. In the analog age, there was no record of events the police could use as evidence, unless something was written on a piece of paper. It is absolutely illogical and disgusting that in the digital age it should be any different. I don't care that the ISP stores data on their servers forever. I don't care that our phones store data that can be retrieved after the fact. The police need to pretend this option for collecting evidence doesn't exist, so we continue living the same way it was in the 1970s. While using the digital age technology and pretending that all this data retention does not exist and that everything is anonymous, even it is factually not so. There needs to be a law where text messages are treated as privately spoken whispers that can never be heard again. Even if someone can pull them off a server and read them, too bad. The law can't act on that in any way. Same with pictures and videos. Pigs are arrogant pieces of shit with obsessive-compulsive disorders about enforcing the law. They feel entitled that just because technology changed, they can start catching people for stuff we would have gotten away with otherwise in the analog age. No, send policing back to the analog age. Do that, and we never have to fear the country turning into some dystopian hellhole enforced by electronic surveillance.
James Grider's twin sister Carmela said, "But how do we bring about this change? There are very few people that would agree with it, and police and politicians are so obsessed with the control it gives them over the populace, they would never even consider it. What can the average American do now to bring about this change?"
To this, James answered, "Just spit in the face of the law. It doesn't matter what age you are, between 1 and 18 years old. Your body is your body. Don't let some piece of shit politician or prosecutor treat that as otherwise. Gun down any prosecutors who do. Gun down any cops who do. Everyone who is an underage teenager, start flooding the internet with naked pictures of yourselves. If millions of you all sext each other at the same time, there isn't enough jail space to hold you all." I've read a comment from a crazy person one time on a Yahoo article about a high school sexting scandal that happened recently, where he said that maybe we should have a law where you aren't allowed to have a smartphone until you're 18, so you can never sext. So it becomes like that unfair drinking restriction. This is how insane some people are out there, and civil disobedience is the only way to obliterate them. Drive them mad by breaking their petty laws. Everyone start texting death threats at each other and toward these cops and politicians. Don't let them take the technology from us or use it to oppress us. Instead, take it away from them. Just because something is stored on some server or hard drive, because that's the inherent nature of the new and more efficient digital technology we're using, does not mean cops should be allowed to suddenly use it against defendants in criminal courts, with or without a warrant. Enough is enough. No more of this Orwellian bullshit.
Carmela said, I'm imagining a kid like me taking a naked picture of themselves and posting it online, and their mother going, "Oh no, what have you done? Oh, the pedophiles will gawk at you now. Oh, the pedophiles."
James said, I would be pissed and say to her, "Shut the fuck up, bitch. Yeah, pedophiles will look. That's right, bitch. Pedophiles will look at me. I will purposely give everything to the pedophiles, because you decided to make a law saying that my own body is a crime if it ends up photographed. Yeah, I will make pedophiles jerk off over me just to make you cry, stupid bitch. If it wasn't illegal for me to sext, I never would have sexted my nude pictures to pedophiles. But because sexting is illegal for me since I'm underage, I must send nude pictures of myself to pedophiles in rebellion. I mean, if you're self-conscious about participating in the sexting rebellion against these laws, don't be. Your concern about being seen nude is trivial in comparison to the horrible devastation we will face if the government is allowed to keep using digital technology against individuals in courts of law or criminal investigations as evidence.
Carmela said, how would sexting be done in the analog age?
James said, well, I suppose you have to put a camera on a tripod and set a timer and snap a picture on film, then have the film developed. So pose naked, take a picture, go to your high school photography club and use their equipment to develop the picture, save the negatives, make a few copies, and then distribute them out to students so they can admire your sexy, naked, 15-year-old body, Carmela. Look, people put too much meaning into something as silly as a photo. Just like when I said that the law should pretend text messages are something spoken in private. A sexting photo that Carmela took of herself naked, while being 15 years old, should also be treated as if what she did is no different than being in a room alone with her boyfriend, or maybe multiple friends, and stripping naked in front of them in the real world. Since the pigs would never know if she actually did it or not, had she only done it in real life in front of living people. Then if she does it virtually using digital technology, like a cell phone camera, it should be treated as the same thing. Here's another brilliant example. I just stabbed some bitch with a knife because they pissed me off. I have a friend who would like to see that picture. I could either have the friend come over and see the real thing, or I could do it virtually by snapping a picture and sending it to him. Now, you say the picture creates evidence that I am the murderer. Well, I say we change the law so the picture is treated no different than if my friend were to have seen it live and the picture never existed at all. Basically, we'll be treating the virtual communication reality of computers and cell phones and cameras the same as we do the real-world communications. We pretend text messages are no different than words spoken in private which cannot be retrieved. We pretend things done in photographs, like minors taking nude selfies, are simply a virtual representation of what would have been a real-life action otherwise. If it's not illegal for some 17-year-old kid to strip naked in front of a crowd in the privacy of their own home, then it should be no more illegal to do so virtually by way of cell phone pictures. The law must treat the digital realm as it would the real-life realm, even if the digital realm leaves a record of things that occurred that others can access later, unlike reality does. Otherwise, the law will face consequences.
Carmela said, "So it's time for us to fight for what we hold dear, which is the ability to get away with stuff in the digital realm as we would in reality. So ever-evolving communication technology can never become a pitfall or a tool of oppression for the governments to use against us, for the governments to use to convict us of crimes."
Precisely, James said.